5 countries have an agreement to share.
It looks good, but well, unfortunately, we can't do with that. We have to deal with this, so. But it looks good. Yeah, this can light. From every direction I put. Somehow. Okay. So we are done. We are on. What else do I need? So good evening. Let me put my thing here so that we are ready. Okay. So yeah, good evening. I've got essentially about 3 issues that I want to discuss, but I want to start by I want to start by a preliminary. Since we are talking about preliminaries tonight, I want to start with a preliminary. So the preliminary is that please, those of you who want to communicate with me and you want to send any information, please don't start with a hi, how are you? I always say I don't find it necessary to respond to those the hi, how are you? I don't respond to that. I don't respond to hi, how are you? Because I tell you, many people like to do that. But now I can't just I'm fine. If I'm not well, I will tell you. I know it is a courteous way of starting up a conversation. I know in our tradition it is a courteous way of starting up a conversation. You greet a person first, hi, how are you? And then you go on. Unfortunately, this is, I want to assume that when you want to communicate with me, it's not on a social interaction, because really I don't do that on social media. Yes, I'm on social media. Yes, we chat on social media, and I know sometimes you might feel like, yeah, you just want to say hi, you want to have a chit chat with me. I avoid that, especially that I am out here, because I don't know who I'm chatting with. I don't chat with people I don't know. Yes, you know me because you see me on social media, so it's normal to feel that you know me and you want to communicate. But I rarely do social interaction on social media. Usually I want to communicate, and if there's something that you want to say, please, when you come into my inbox, go ahead and give me your issue. Don't say a hi and wait for me to respond, then you start talking. No, just go ahead. Just say, hi, Mr. Tayali, I've got this issue, blah, 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 blah. Go straight to the point. Don't expect a chit chat between us before you tell me. I will not respond. So just go ahead straight away. Give me the issue that you want to bring up. I look at it. And as you report those issues, I want you to provide me evidence. Provide me some evidence of some sort. Don't tell me, investigate it yourself. No, 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 no. I've got no capacity. I don't have that capacity to start investigating cases. So you are the one who is working for that organization where you are being ill-treated. Show me the evidence of the ill-treatment that is currently going on in that organization. If you know of something that has happened in the country, I don't know, some corruption, please go ahead, report the issue. There is this, and show me some kind of evidence. Mention names. Don't fear to mention names. No, somebody has been given a job who is not even qualified. How am I going to know now? How am I going to know who is this person who has been given a job and is not qualified? How? You need to state who is this person who has been given a job but is not qualified. State it for me that this person has been given a job. And if you're saying he's not qualified, give me the CV of that person, because you would have seen the CV. Otherwise, how else would you know that this person is not qualified? So give me the CV, that this is the CV of this person. And this is where this person is coming from. He's coming from nowhere. He's linked to this one. Give me some details. Otherwise, it's difficult for me to go in and start investigating. I can't. It's difficult. Yes, when you give me your information, it's not that, there and then I will come out and talk about it. With your information, then I'll try to find out, with my own people, but at least give me enough from your point of view to establish a prima facie case. At least establish a prima facie case. Show me some credibility in what you're reporting. Then I can go on and inquire. That is another issue. The other issue is, some of you want me to do business for you. Hello, you want me to do business for you? I will not. You are trying to get a contract somewhere. You are trying to get a mining license. You are trying to get a mining license, and you are trying to get maybe your benefits. You haven't been paid your benefits. You haven't been paid the money that the government owes you, or somebody owes you, and you want to bring it as a general public issue. That is not a public interest. So when you're bringing some of these cases, ask yourself, is this a public interest case, or it is my interest case? It is my interest case, whereby it is personal, and you want to bring me in. Yes, you can bring me in. But hey, those are the services that I charge for. Those are the services that I charge for. You cannot be involved in business and you are pushing money to be paid, and you want me to come here and just talk about it so that you get paid, you enjoy with your life, you don't even share with me. No. That is where the consultancy, even when I was back in the country, that is where the consultancy comes in. So if you are pursuing some money, if you are pursuing some business of some sort, and you want me to talk about it, mwevantu, let me tell you, those are the issues I charge for. And there is nothing wrong in me charging, because I'm saving your business. I'm making you make money. So those issues ngamule yaleta kuli ine. Mule tumanaka something. Those issues. If you want me to advocate for you, those issues, you should know. Those issues which are in your personal interests, those issues, when you are bringing them to me, you should pay for it. You should at least contribute to my welfare. Even at home, that's what I used to do. That is what gives me money. It's those to my issues, when you bring them up, you even give me something. Then it subsidizes those other social issues. So don't bring me, a business in nature issues, and you want me just to talk about it so that you make money. Heroin in a sharp off. Because you never even come back. You go quiet. You just go quiet. Apaturela ndakatushina banankane ba DBZ ngamwafika ba nankane niba DBZ ba Meridian BIO. You were communicating, you have gone quiet. And usually ngamwa quiet nishwaishi bati fintu firenda wino either na bafola, but you are not talking about it. I tab my issues. If I start advocacy on something, I keep talking about it until that issue is resolved. So if you go quiet because things are going right, it's not good. Bring those issues. Give me updates. I mean, of course, Meridian BIO, that is a public interest issue. It's not an issue that I want. Those are not the kind of issues that I'm saying I'm asking for to be paid for me for advocacy. No. It's those business related, like hey Shanshani, hey whatever. This is not happening. Guys, those issues, when you bring them to me, mwatumakonaka something. And you don't start sending, some of you are funny. You think I'm cheap. Uletumaka 500 kwa chatiyo. Mushite kwa bundles. But issue mulela ndapo yama million. Laimwe. Therefore mbomba. I mean, if I have to be paid, I have to be paid handsomely. If I have to be paid, I have to be paid handsomely. I don't deal number 1 pin, 2 pin. I don't deal with the small money. I have to be paid nicely. So mwila tumotuma 500 kwacha 1 pin, 2 pin, 5 pin. Wanzinisha na 5 pin. So some of these issues, bring them before me, and I'm saying it openly. Some of these issues, they are your personal issues, and if I have to deal with them, please let me pay for it. Anyway, now let's go now to our public issues. First and foremost, I want to tell you that the UPND wants to use drought as an excuse. Don't allow the UPND to use drought as an excuse. Don't allow them to use drought as an excuse, because we have been having droughts El Nino has been with us for quite some time. RB suffered it. Edgar Lungu suffered it. Even Sata, he suffered it. Even Sata suffered it. Now, the UPND wants to make drought as an excuse. No. Don't allow these kelenkas to use drought as an excuse. It is not an excuse for the many things that are going on in the country right now. Prices of commodities are not high because of drought, no. Umutengo wa unga is not where it is now because of drought, no. We don't have electricity now. It is not because of drought, no. Nakana, nami kanina. It is not because of drought. It is not because of drought. It is because of your carelessness. It is because of your lack of focus. It is because of your love of money. Love of money. That is why we have, these long hours of load shedding. It is because of your carelessness. It is because of your love of money. It is because you don't care about Zambians. That is why. So, Muitampa Nokula, you are trying to bring it out like almost making it a crime if you talk about the electricity. Because how else will Jack Mumbu be talking about this? How else will Jack Mumbu be talking about electricity? And Elisha Matambo is coming up very ignorantly talking about PF lifted date, and that's why we are having this load shedding. Otherwise, we would be importing. Now, let me tell you, and me, I speak from an informed position. The position that I'm giving you is very informed. You see, Edgar Lungu, when he was in power, they brought in, they appreciated, if I could put it that way, they increased the electricity generation capacity. This is a fact, and I want them to disagree with me that Edgar Lungu increased the capacity of electricity generation in the country. They did increase. They increased the capacity of generating electricity. Just like they increased the reserves, of maize. In our shades, we had maize, and they brought it to about 500 metric tons they were keeping. Even with electricity, they did increase the capacity of power generation. And when they increased the capacity of power generation, when they increased the capacity of power generation, they were exporting. They started exporting. Edgar Lungu's government, they were exporting when they had increased the capacity. And what were they exporting? They were exporting about 50 megawatts. They were exporting about 50 megawatts. And the issue, if you remember at that time, there was that Zambezi River Authority. Remember, we were talking so much about Zambezi River Authority, River Authority. They were always making sure that they maintain the levels, okay? They maintain the levels, especially of, the Kariba Dam and the KAFUE River. Some of you, you never even heard KAFUE River being discussed, because the KAFUE River, they made sure that it is not strained. It is not strained. And therefore, when they were exporting electricity to such measures that they don't strain the Kariba Dam or the KAFUE River. Electricity, Mungu Mfikshap. After that increase, with coming up of some other plants that were feeding into the grid, they started exporting. And then when they were exporting only 50 megawatts, Mungu Mfikshap. they were only exporting 50 megawatts. And the focus was to make sure that the water levels are maintained. Unfortunately, these people, when they came in, when Hakainde Hichilema came in, UPND came in, they increased the export of electricity. They increased the export of electricity to what? These figures I'm saying here, if I'm lying, tomorrow challenge me. PF exporting electricity, 50 megawatts. These guys, when they came in, they increased export of electricity to 150 megawatts. 150 megawatts when they came in. These are not figures that I'm plucking out from my head. No, these are authentic figures. PF was only exporting 50 megawatts. Ababa isa. They started exporting electricity the same way they were exporting maize. Just like when they saw maize in our sheds, they decided, let's start selling it. They started selling amataba. Whilst they were exporting amataba, they were also exporting electricity. Because according to them, we had enough. We had enough. And you remember what I'm saying here, it is confirmed by Hakainde Hichilema himself. When he had that press conference and he's saying, do you have load shedding? There is no load shedding. Now we are exporting electricity, we are exporting to this country, we are exporting to this country. He was boasting. He was boasting. Hakainde Hichilema was boasting. Just when he got into power, they increased the capacity of exporting electricity from 50 megawatts to 150 megawatts. During the time of PF, there was a temptation. There was actually, a company that also tried to come in and say, no, can you increase it to 80? Those who were there, they refused to increase, to say, no, if we increase to 80 megawatts, we are going to strain our water sources. So let's just keep it at 50. But these ones, they took it to 150. This is way before the drought even came in. This is way before the drought even came in. Immediately they came in, they increased to 150. And that put a strain on the KAFUE river. It put a strain on the KAFUE river. As you know, a river is not filled up in one cycle of rain season, no. You need about 3 cycles. So in the first year that they came in, they started drying up the KAFUE river. And the next year, so as a result, when we now have drought, it was even worse. It was even worse. So the problem started when they increased the capacity of exporting electricity. That is when they started. That is when the problem started. It is the same thing that happened with maize. When they came in, they sold out the maize. But to replenish it, it became a challenge. And then the drought also came in. So the drought is just making things worse. But otherwise, the problem started with them, with their poor management, with their love of money, with their carelessness. That's what it started. That is what it started with. Honestly, how do you start? You find electricity. Our neighborhood export 50 megawatts. You come and increase it to 250. And these figures, the praise singer, don't argue with me. Go and check with your people. Go and check with your people to say, Tayali is saying you increased the export of electricity to 150 megawatts. When you were PF, we are only exporting 50 megawatts. Somebody is saying volume. Unfortunately, I cannot shout because I'm in this this place. I don't want somebody coming to knock on my door today. Yeah. So that is the situation. That is the situation. These people are careless. These people are the ones who have made things worse. And now where we are, we have a situation where we have not 150, need 220 megawatts. But I'm speaking from the figures that I got. Immediately they came in, they increased it to 150. PF was exporting at 50 megawatts. Benavasa ileta ku 150 megawatts. So it is not about the drought. It is about this government. It is about the carelessness of this government. It is about their love for money. And Hakainde HICHILEMA even came out himself and said, we are exporting electricity. But what is sad is that after Amonati, they are drying up the water sources, they have not cancelled. Instead of cancelling, you know, some of these deals that they signed, they have continued. Right now, as we are talking, as they are complaining about this and that, these people are still exporting electricity. Even now, as we are talking, they are still exporting electricity. As much as you are complaining to say, no, we have got 12 hours of load shedding, these people are still exporting electricity. Now, if you think of it, how can they be exporting electricity at this point in time when you have so many hours of load shedding? How can they continue exporting electricity? At this point in time, they continue exporting electricity. And if you must know, the mines who are the biggest consumer of electricity, they are not load shedded, by the way. The mines, they are not load shedded. They are not load shedded. They can't load shed the mines. The people who are suffering out of, you know, whatever situation that we are going through, it's the common Zambians. It's the common Zambians, because these people just don't care. They don't care. For them, it is about money. It's about making money. It's about putting up a face. Hakainde HICHILEMA'S government, they care more about, you know, their outlook to the outsiders and not to Zambians. They don't care. Even if you think of it, the economic loss that we are currently you know, we are incurring as a result of not having electricity. If you compare it to the whatever compensation we will have to give because we are not supplying electricity, I mean, it cannot be the same. We are losing more. We are losing more than to cancel some of these contracts. But Hakainde HICHILEMA, they just don't care. They don't care because these people, they are dictators. These people, they think they are alpha and omegas. Nothing can happen to them. They are untouchable. They are untouchable. And this Elisha Matambo is saying, no, because PF whatever. Okay, if they left a date in Mozambique, why didn't you go elsewhere? Why didn't you go elsewhere? Because the thing is that it is not easy to import electricity just like that. It is not easy. You need to have, you know, the channel to bring in electricity. You need to have that channel. If you don't have it, it's difficult. And this is what they're struggling with. So you, Elisha Matambo, stop talking nonsense. You could not import electricity because, number one, you know, you look foolish. You are selling electricity and then you are importing this side because you wanted to look like you are okay. Then number two, the issue is that you don't have the channels, I don't know, the evacuation lines to bring in electricity, because you need those evacuation. You cannot say, for example, you can't say, let's bring electricity from Burkina Faso. No, you need a channel to a line to bring that electricity in. You can't simply say, no, let's bring electricity from whichever country. You need a channel. And these are some of the challenges that you are having. Not because no PF left dead, no. The problem with you, by UPND, you have continued on a trajectory of propaganda, and yet you are in power. You keep lying to the Zambian people. Instead of giving, authentic information to people. Gone are the days when we used to believe that whatever comes out of government is genuine, it's authentic. These days, ministers lie through their teeth. Ministers lie through their teeth. Mythomania is a disease that has overtaken everyone in government. Everyone in government has to lie. You are lying, you lie. Mulibabu fi, wonse mulibabu fi. Elisha matabu lebe pobu fi, Jack Mimbo bachira be pobu fi. I mean, it's all lies. Even look at the public media. Look at ZNBC. Gone are the days when you used to say, if it is not on ZNBC, it's not true. ZNBC now is used in propaganda. Mukube powufi. Daily Mail is used in propaganda. Mukube powufi. Screaming headlines of $75 billion. $75 billion. We are going to sell land. This investor is going to bring in $75 billion. Coming from Vietnam. Who is this businessman? Ubufi. You are just full of lies. But you need to realize that you are in government now. And in government, there are technocrats. In governments, there are position papers. And that is what you should be talking. Not what you decide. Let me disclose to you. What are you disclosing? What are you disclosing? Ubufi mulibabu fi ba UPND babu fi. We have never had a government that lies like by UPND. Starting from the president going down to whoever is in support of UPND. You are liars. You have got so much lies. It is really a pity. It's really a pity. Yeah, I'm restraining myself even to talk. I like to speak freely. I like to speak freely, but nkanizama rent. You can only where I am here. It's a hotel, so you just have next room. People are sleeping. Even when they are doing action, you can hear. So unfortunately, I am hoping that I'll be able to have some money and go to some place which will give me a little bit more freedom. By UPND mulibabu fi. Too much. You are liars. So that is the issue about electricity. Amalaiti, you should just take it the same way they sold Amatava. It's the same way that they have done with electricity. And now the KAFUE river is drying up. You tell me when you last heard people talking about the KAFUE river. I'm talking about it. Move push. They are drying the KAFUE river because they have strained it. They are straining the KAFUE river because of the exports. By UPND, they were giving us load shedding to maintain the water levels. By UPND, by PF, they were load shedding us to maintain the water levels. However, they are giving us load shedding to export electricity, to continue exporting electricity. You hear the difference, eh? You hear that difference. By UPND, they are load shedding you for them to continue exporting electricity. But PF, they were load shedding you to maintain the waters. But however, they are load shedding you so that they can continue exporting electricity. When you don't have electricity, it means it is because they want to continue their exporting electricity. And they are straining the river. It is not about the drought, no. They started exporting electricity before the drought came in. This drought is 1 year. RB suffered the drought of 3 years continuously, during MMD, so to say. 3 years continuously we had the El Nino. It started with RB, it ended muri Edgar Lungu. It ended muri Edgar Lungu. It started with RB. Sata had it. Edgar Lungu had it. But these ones, at no drought which we has never been recorded before. No, fiabufi. Why are they continuing? The question Mulebe Pusha to say, okay, if we have so much drought, why have you continued to export electricity? Why don't you stop exporting electricity? Why don't you stop? It is only you who are suffering. The mines, they are not load shedding them, and now they are busy hauling people to come into Zambia to start generating electricity so that they can make money out of you. They want to bring their friends. That's why they are increasing the cost of electricity so that these companies would come, they will set up the companies themselves and they will be making money out of you. These people don't just care for Zambia. They don't care. And unfortunately, as we are going through all that, there is another lie that has been going on where, you people say, no, they are fixing, they are paying debt. Which debt are you paying? Because the major debt that we talk about, the Euro bond and whatever other debt that we talk about, you people, you're not paying. That debt restructuring that you have clinched, which you were dancing, you were celebrating, that debt restructuring means nothing but simply suspending the payment of debt. That debt restructuring, it doesn't mean anything but suspension of not paying debt and borrowing more. And so far, these people, they have borrowed more money. I told you earlier, I told you before that these people have borrowed up to about 5 billion within a space of 2 years. Within a space of 2 years, they have borrowed about 5 billion. And the minister confirmed it. The minister confirmed it. He was on the what is this, Sunday interview. And he confirmed that yes, they have borrowed money. They have borrowed. The minister did not dispute. Although he was not praising or whatever. No. Hakainde HICHILEMA, the country is worse off where we are now than where Edgar Lungu left it. The country is worse off in every aspect. There is nowhere where you can tell me to say, no, we are better off in here. Where? We are better off in what? We are better off in what? In Congole Nashifulilako, we have bigger debt stock now than what we had during Edgar Lungu. So what is this Hakainde HICHILEMA fixing? What is this Hakainde HICHILEMA fixing? Debt has increased instead of reducing. So mule kokulanda padi debt mountain, mule kokulanda padi debt mountain because you have increased the debt stock. You have increased the mountain. No, a moratorium, we put a moratorium when we come in power, where you have been borrowing and you have increased the debt stock. So how better off are we? How better off are we with Hakainde HICHILEMA? What is he fixing? Yeah, debt mountain. You are not paying. And you are borrowing more. And you are going to borrow more, even from this IMF. You are going to borrow more money. Hakainde HICHILEMA will leave the country in more debt than what Edgar Lungu did. So, nigonga, nigonga, nigonga. These are all lies, really. These are all lies. We are worse off as a country, we are worse off now than where we were during the time of Edgar Lungu. We are worse off. And this is why, I mean, some of us are now saying, no, let Edgar Lungu come back. Let Edgar Lungu come back. Why we are saying Edgar Lungu to come back? It's because things were better off then. Things were better off. Even you are messing up the country. So we are saying, let Edgar Lungu come back. And we are saying, let Edgar Lungu come back because Edgar Lungu has the experience. At least. We don't want to trial and error. So let Edgar Lungu come back because he has got the experience. But now you want to bar Edgar Lungu. You want to bar Edgar Lungu. I received this information and it's very reliable. I want to tell you, mark my words, on the 8th of July, mark this date, 8 July, 8 July. 8 July, people should go to the High Court and listen to the ruling. On 8 July, mark my word, 8 July, write this date, 8 July, 8 July, mark this one, 8 July. The CONCOURT has been put under pressure that they should rule against the preliminaries. Now, let me explain to some of you who may not understand what is currently going on with the Edgar Lungu eligibility. The Edgar Lungu eligibility, where we are coming from, a number of people went to court to ask if Edgar Lungu was eligible to contest in 2021. And this case was brought before court 5 times. 5 times. You know, no, they have ruled, but ngapa, oh no, let's go back. Oh, ngapa, let's go back. And finally, a final decision was made that Edgar Lungu qualifies to contest the 2021 general elections. And that's how Edgar Lungu contested the elections in 2021, because the court ruled that he's eligible. Unfortunately, now after UPND came into power, UPND engineered another litigation. UPND engineered another litigation. Don't even talk about that guy that they are using. No, it's UPND. They engineered another litigation where they are saying, no, Edgar Lungu shouldn't have contested in 2021 because he was elected twice according to the old constitution. Edgar Lungu became president in the old constitution. In the old constitution, it said you can only be elected twice. But in the new constitution, which was amended, it is saying that if you don't do more than 3 years, you have not, you cannot say you have done a term. So you can actually contest. It is possible for somebody to contest 3 times. As long as those times when he serves, he has not served more than 3 years. That is the new constitution. So these guys that have come up, they say, no. Edgar Lungu came in as in the old constitution. And in the old constitution, they said only two terms. But the CONCOURT did address this issue. When they were declaring that Edgar Lungu can stand in 2021, they did address this issue. They said Edgar Lungu was a transitional leader from the old constitution to the new constitution. And therefore, you have to decide, where do you place Edgar Lungu? Do you put him in the old constitution or in the new constitution? And the CONCOURT did rule that the new constitution will apply to Edgar Lungu. And that's how he contested in 2021. Now, by UPND, they have brought this issue before the CONCOURT. And their argument, they are saying, no, Edgar Lungu shouldn't have contested in 2021. For Edgar Lungu, it's finished. It's finished. He shouldn't contest again. But the lawyers for Edgar Lungu, they are saying, This case was already adjudicated upon. It was already decided. And that's why Edgar Lungu stood in 2021. So why are we coming back to court to overturn the ruling of the CONCOURT? And so this is a preliminary issue. They're saying, before we start arguing as to whether Edgar Lungu can contest or not, this issue has already been decided upon. We don't need to go into it. We don't need to open a case that is already closed. So it is a preliminary matter. And if the judges are true to the justice that they swore to uphold or to dispense, judges should be able to say this case has already been dealt with. Because it has already been dealt with. But unfortunately, there is pressure now coming in on the judges that the judges should rule to say, no, let's hear the arguments. The lawyers to Edgar Lungu, they are saying, why should we go to the arguments? Because these arguments were already argued and decided upon. We don't need to go to the arguments. But the State House is pushing CONCOURT to say, no, you should allow the arguments. You should reopen the case. And this is what is coming on the 8th of July. The CONCOURT is being pursued, is being pushed to open a case that was closed. Instead of throwing it away to say this case was already adjudicated upon 5 times, we cannot look at it. But Hakainde HICHILEMA nabantu abo, they are telling our judges no, at least allow the arguments. That's what they are saying. They are saying, no, these are just arguments. At least allow the arguments. Don't dismiss it now. That's what they are telling our judges. At least allow the arguments. In other words, at least, reopen the case. A case which was already adjudicated upon. As I'm talking, our judges, they are under pressure. Of course, those who are under pressure are those that are not their cadres. Their cadres like Wamunarula, they are the ones that are going around to make sure that this ruling goes in favor, goes according to Hakainde HICHILEMA, basically. It's a ruling according to Hakainde HICHILEMA. The ruling that is coming on the 8th is a ruling against is according to Hakainde HICHILEMA. What Hakainde HICHILEMA wants, not what justice wants. And some of you might say, no, Tayali talks too much and whatever. But this is what is happening in the country. When we say that our democracy is being wiped out, this is what we're talking about, where the institutions of governance are being compromised. Where Hakainde HICHILEMA has become everything. That is dictatorship. It's the same thing with the issue of JJ, where, because Hakainde HICHILEMA has decided JJ must go in. No, the case was adjudicated upon, the case is closed. No, Hakainde HICHILEMA says, let it go on. It's the same thing that they are doing to the CONCOURT. Muke Sanjeva Pano, 8th June, mark my words, 8th June, Muke Sanjeva. 8th June, Hakainde HICHILEMA is saying, let the case go on. Just like on the issue of JJ, JJ's case is closed. But no, Hakainde HICHILEMA says, no, it should go on. And it is going on. JJ is inside for aggravated robbery. Even on this one, he's saying, no, the case should go on. And they want to go on with that case. Once they start arguing, they want to go on with it until just before 2026. Just before 2026. And then they'll come and bar Edgar Lungu. Because they don't want to make it to finish it quickly. Because if they finish it quickly, it may bring complications to the election of Hakainde HICHILEMA himself. It may bring confusion. So they will allow the preliminary to go on. They will allow the main case to go on. And then they will prolong it whilst Hakainde Hichilema is ruling. Then, just before the elections, they will come and bar Edgar Lungu so that Hakainde Hichilema can go alone. Because without any iota of doubt, without any ounce of doubt, the person that they are scared of is Edgar Chagwa Lungu. This is the person that they are scared of. Hakainde Hichilema is scared of Edgar Chagwa Lungu. At the moment, Edgar Chagwa Lungu is winning against Hakainde Hichilema in every respect, in terms of what he did, in terms of public goodwill, in terms of support. Hakainde Hichilema is not coming anywhere close to Edgar Lungu. And the only way the UPND have seen that they can stop Edgar Lungu is by barring him using the CONCOURT. So they are doing everything to bar Edgar Lungu using the CONCOURT. Now, there are two important issues that I want to throw to you, or challenges. Number one, the challenges to the judges. What message are you going to be sending about about yourselves, to start with? About yourselves as judges. What message are you going to be sending? That you can fall to the whims of a politician who is not even reasonable. He's not being reasonable here, who has no respect for our democracy, who has no respect for our constitution, who has no respect for our judiciary. You want to stoop that low, to go to Hakainde Hichilema's level and do as he wants you to do. What credibility are you going to reserve for yourselves, to start with? Then secondly, what about the institutions of governance? The judiciary, where are you putting it? Do you think you are going to command respect and confidence from the Zambian people if you follow the whims of Hakainde Hichilema? That is the first challenge to the judges as individually, and of course as an institution. What legacy are you going to leave as the Chief Justice, where it will stand written to say there was a time when there was this Chief Justice who followed what an irresponsible president demanded? Then secondly, it is yourselves, Zambian people. It is yourselves, Zambian people. Are you going to allow politicians to do as they please, to act, to take the country as if it's their personal property? Are you going to allow them? Where is our resolve as a country? Where is our resolve as a country? Why did our forefathers, fight for this democracy, for us to just come and hand it over to Hakainde Hichilema to say, do as you please? 8th July. 8th July. Mark my words. 8th July. What are you going to do when these people are going to succumb to the pressure that is being waged on them? What are you going to do? Of course, me, I'm a person for peace. You know that. I don't want people to get violent. I don't want people to suffer. Already we are seeing a police officer that lost 2 hands, 2 hands, because he was trying to throw a canister, a tear gas canister. We have one young person that died in Kenya. I don't want that situation. That is not what I stand for. But there should be a way that we should be able to express ourselves. There should be a way that we should be able to express ourselves so that those in government, they can hear us. There are many ways. And one of those ways that I've created for me is this platform that I've given you. And I'm going to open phone lines so that you can talk. You can be rest assured that they listen to you. For me, this is one of the ways that I want to allow the Zambian voice to be heard. I've created this platform for you to call in and express yourselves. And I'm opening phone lines right now. I'm opening phone lines. You can call in and express yourself. I've spoken about a number of issues. You can pick any, or you can bring anything that is of your interest. You can call only on WhatsApp. You know the number. I don't shout the number because if I shout the number, TikTok will restrict my broadcast. So you can call in and express yourself. I'm feeling a little. Yeah, the volume is loud. Hello? Hello?
Wow, Mashanywa President.
Yeah, I'm quite much booking now. More at much booking.
Over issue ya majudges here, we have a president in Ghana. When you like Lieutenant Colonel Jerry Rawlings took over power, the first thing he did was to kill our judges, saying they made the people of Ghana suffer with their judgments during the time where they were dictators. Now, this issue, CONCOURT, it's a very sensitive issue.
Very.
Because even, you know, Nakaponya Finance, but no, the issue carry out. Same Yaka Jeje. Everyone knows that the issue carry out. Now, I wish someone different to take it. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. And when Zambia Fiave never quit Yamaka, otherwise, Amaka Chalwa, Padino, Tatakuri, Hakoya. Nikubera Zambia Five Chapo, otherwise, nothing.
Thank you. Hello?
President Mwombe.
Yeah, Mwombe.
Yeah. Yashi yamfika pakwe bati bali kusaba pani ngaba Edgar Lungu. So ba Edgar Lungu pakwe bati mumwishiwe nabo bende nabeshiba situation kwe bati game into balensha ba UPND ni ine. So nomba ngafwe kala chalo. Efyo twinga chitapali urutamuto kuti wachitashani bantu aba natumona kuli jeje band bali chitafika fini no kuchita succeed na bachita succeed baleko nkanyapo system yabo ili ayi na ifufwe bantu twikere fetulero leshafi bindefu bale chite fya bulokulo ndoloka ba UPND so nshishibe efo twinga chitanga bekara chalo urutamuto twinga senda niruisa bantu ngana bakwanisho kuchita kufya kuli jeje nakuba Edgar Lungu wakachite fini aka number 2 wa president
ero panono fe before tamulanda kuli tamula yakumbi mwalanda bwino sana ko bati pali jeje nabachitana bata succeed ngato wekera kunu moku to alalolesha twalasanganira shira kwa bomando sambo mulebukisha naba malanji na kuma council deputy chairpersons nama mayors bali teko na kwene fine so mwalanda buno na chafati tubukisho kwa noko twafumo bale chite fine tawomfu aba na kuma light chimo chineka bali na kuma light trade shana kuma light but still bale chitisha no konkanya ni pumwa number 2
so ba president after ifine mwa comment pali so inefyo nsangire kweba tawa bantu n'abaderera mwamuna katulepanga po action yakwe bati bamono kwe bati abena Zambia n'abafulu so nekyo ningalanda kyakwe bati kwebena Zambia kwe bale mona mafia tulepitamu nefe bale tikishaba nawo tufuire nga twasita mona pa musango basachita omowine kuli ba Edgar Lungu tukatontonganye tukamona efe tunga defender kwebene nokudefenda ba Edgar Lungu atu baisayiminina bantu abantu dictatorship nabayikwatisha sana aka namba twekondera ndaba president ifo twali pa Saturday ilyakwalirali kuchangana mai kulya tatrefo kulaba kwatule bapita mu mali ba Edgar Lungu natubatemwa icha first ekyo bafuire okula kitaba Edgar Lungu bafuire bakita assess bafuire kishapa ground first kwe batusha abantu efe balefu okumva nifinchi bayipusha kwebena kitu kutwipusha bwino nifinchi abantu balefu okumva ba Edgar Lungu nga bayise next time nga basatekesha lali icha first bakalera ndo kwe bati mwebekala kyalo natwishiba kyonse amafia kunumo kunatwishiba tebonse mwebatemenwe mutungulushi fyale ekitika mutungulushi bweso lelo natwiso kwe bati kyonse firi efo twale ekitefi ntifishalo ndoroke fimwefe tamwasekeremo taturefu afika bwekerepo na kambi kabiri nefine fire ekitika muri ba UPND mwalimu nabale ntwala kumakoti amagadas bale tukanensere kulya kumandevu amagadas ba UPND bali mine n'amapanga notusembe kyonse fira turefu atukese kuishanga twaisa mupawa bafuire bale bomvya ilya system ile ekitika mu UPND bale ilanda palali nefya kwa JJF ne balingira okulanda namona system yabo abaleteka bali mupawa efyo bambira okusenda nomba member of parliament bale bakita abduction batwalanda ko state ile bachingirira bale abena abantu abali mu state bale chingirira bale abakabolala kyonse bafuire bale firanda pa platform oza abantu kyonse efyo bale ilishanya po abantu so nga baya kumalaris opportunity yakwe bati bale randa pafya efyo balanda na fintu yakwe bati fintu kesa chinje fikosere mitengo fifi vipire ifi bale chitawa UPND fonga twaisa tukesa fyamya kwefo tungesa kuanisha turemo na fyonse bapera abantu information bwino ifya kwa jeje belala bokulala ndapo na filafi nefyo tabali ifya leru bana bale sumina kofi balanda twalishibe twalemfuka dalizi momo yali batapanga twaisa tafyaka bwekere kwefe emali ashabantu pa ground bale fokula umfwa kwayo ero fya shale fimi fya mikalire fikosere bambo kulalunda kofi so bakateka mule bakita kwa advise ninyi shwati mulalanda bena ifya mshwali mibale yumfuira background nga batekesha malali ifibafuire bale landa bali hivyo fintu tunachilande fiba president natotera mkwani
natotera sana no ifya mfuika except that I mean and you know that iraradi iria nayo bali chayo mungalato baishire bapera inshita baishire bapera tirali n'abasuminisha very late the day before and then kwaliko na bantu kutino ko bati yo limbi bakapokola balaisa shana na ba Edgar Lungu bene nabo bene bali batinya so we are hoping that indeed in the subsequent rallies that will come you know people will have more time, even Edgar Lungu will have more time to speak out. But I think this issue of articulating issues, I think it is coming up. Maybe we need to find another platform where Edgar Lungu can be talking about some of these issues. Hello? Please move away from the other. Okay.
Ala ifile kitika mucharo chesu mukawandi yakuseko. Bakateka sorry list. Nari kuzange didine. Kona ile monafie tiyo mkwisho mwenzi. The environment itself is not conducive for business anymore. The following business is concerned. The political atmosphere of its own as well is shambles. then umuntu aleyimina aleyimona kati nakansibyakiriwa kuombeshe mwala bomba shano kwagula kwagula conducive environment mwala bomba shano kwagula amalights mwala bomba shano kwagula in an environment which is quite tense. Kamba ufumu kango presidency te permanence. It's quite temporal. It's very, very temporal. 5 years na 10 years ile tutafe mukapabilizo. Konfo akota nishi kushingishi na tele.
Na totela.
Nishi kushap.
Hello. Hello?
Tayali walishani.
Yankwa.
Wawili. Ndipo kulanda popadira yali kuchanga mai kukitwe. Okay, the response was very favorable. And big kudos to the opposition that wali wapera nani kani permission ya kuchita Australia. But my primal concern is only one, we need to guide and protect the ELC. Because I could see that there were some issues pertaining to crowd management. And if possible, the police were supposed to be there to protect and to manage the crowd. So on this aspect here security, the opposition wapose kosana mano. Security is key so that we protect by ELC and these other members. Even the venue, kuposa kwa mano venue, mwaposa kwa mano, even the way you are preparing the venue, it's very key.
But I think these are the issues that I'm talking about. I think these are the issues that I'm talking about. If our prepare was very short. It was very short because
and the police were not there.
Yeah, but then again, a issue saying bakapokola balanda punga chakwati mulefu kwateradi mwakuli bakapokola turefuaya tukwateradi, but we want you to protect bakapokola fira bebati we don't have manpower if we don't have manpower so ngatu ambo konkerera chiyo bakapokola babeko number nish we are justifying when bakapokola says tatukwete manpower because it's true bakapokola na bobere tebengi bakapokola banono. So if we to conquer that, I think we might be shooting ourselves in the foot. We should just be able to manage it ourselves. Hello?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Never daddy, Alasenda Koyava, Edgar, Lungu, eligibility. For example, Church in Efetraland, the previous caller, Nana for Wino. It is actually a good that by UPND, Gavach taking to Mualavako. But to let a problem of content to Tayali. They would I think 4 days ago. Anyway, a member of parliament, Ali Lezingapo, issue more in a good like Morena Zambia. I'm a voice premier and the day to Kareka, Mukatui Bukista. Because I want to have a chalochena, Vale or Naula, but in a Tulelanda, Mule to Lekedes. because ngeine era isapa 8 July vayupendi nga vakumfemingarato vakwanika Edgar chakalungu vamubaninga nishinomba nishichapwa vaona ule kundu vatukatali kulanda peshinga because ngatoa ikonga kuno mana muchita explain already kuli malanji vali nyonya omani lusambo vali nyonya konse vaikala vamona vakumona ta atena Zambia vali wiki vakashitaka mokene va CF vava poka party kuri mao sampa valelo lela vale chitafi adijane vale chitafi adijane mwamona va CF vale relax vafuna vaposa kwa mano na vena mwamona vachusa tayari ukuranda fe chinka nango abantu vale mituka vale me vachosha na sana ava vantu ava ichalo cheta vala una ngatwa pose kwa mano so apa pena for justice ngataya kave kupati va Edgar Chagwa Lungu pafile pa action because enough is enough etu umuntu umwe sona ule chalo mwamona because imambi yakuti adivali charging akali 4 times 5 times umofini efa mwisa mtambi okubwelera po futi wangu kwena wali wave dictator kwena ni dictator ya shani awe twatekwa pona aba bantu bona otherwise 5 July tulivonse twala mweneko ile
na totera
bombe ni bwino batufeta yali lesami pale boss
yeah. No, I mean, for me, it worries me. It worries me when the government is seemingly so impervious to the people's voices. It worries me. A government needs to be receptive. A government needs to be tolerant. A government needs to be, caring for what people, for the welfare of the people. But this government, how minded, it's just something else. I think, because of Nimba restricted, Kulanda, and they're under Panono Fidia. So I will end here. I'm hoping that soon I'll be able to find a better place where I can be able to talk freely than where I am. So thank you very much for following, and thank you very much for your contribution. May God bless you. May God bless Zambia. Good night.